Entrepreneurially Thinking is a presentation of BioSTL and CET, Center for Emerging Technologies, with Rare Gem Productions, changing the way you view new ventures, including you on the pathway to success with your business in the St. Louis marketplace and beyond. Here's your hosts, Cheryl and Christy. Now let's get thinking entrepreneurially.
Welcome to the Entrepreneurially Thinking podcast. Our goal is to energize your entrepreneurial mindset and create pathways for business success in the St. Louis marketplace and beyond. I'm Christy Maxfield, Director of Entrepreneur Development Services at the Center for Emerging Technologies.
And I'm Dr. Cheryl Watkins-Moore, the Director for Bioscience and Entrepreneurial Inclusion with BioSTL. Hey, Christy.
Hello, my dear.
We are at it again.
Yes, we are. And as you know, if you've been listening to us, and if for some reason this is your very first time tuning in.
It cannot be.
Well, we hope it is, because new listeners are always a good thing as well. You'll know very shortly that this is about stepping outside of your comfort zone. Mm-hmm. So we encourage you to carve out this time with us, whether you're at the gym, on your commute, or otherwise making time to listen and build on your thoughts about new opportunities and new business goals. We want to peel away any limitations you might have about how you think about small business, working for yourself, or being entrepreneurial right where you are. In fact, the other day, I suggested to somebody that they could think of themselves as a dream chaser, and that was the first time they felt like they had an idea of a new way to describe themselves. Cool. So I'm going to add that to the list of things you might want to pursue in this entrepreneurial mindset space.
And stay away from dream killers.
No, yeah, we don't need dream killers. Got plenty of those.
All right.
So you can stay connected to the Entrepreneurially Thinking community on all of your favorite streaming platforms, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or by visiting our website, entrepreneuriallythinking.com, or follow the hashtag #EThinkSTL.
Well, today we are really excited. We have representatives from the Better Family Life organization located right here in the city of St. Louis. If you don't know, Better Family Life is a nonprofit organization dedicated to the growth and prosperity of the American family. In December 2016, they opened I was there. So it was a beautiful new business development center. And its existence is really to support people who want to start small to mid-sized businesses or get help with an existing business. The center specializes in working with disadvantaged, minority, and women entrepreneurs, including Missouri Workforce Assistance, previously known as Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, or TANF customers. As an added bonus, and I think this is the really cool part of this.
This is a great partnership.
Yes. Carrolton Bank and Better Family Life have also partnered to introduce the Better Family Life Micro Loan Fund, which will provide loans from $500 to $5,000.
Crucial funding.
Yes. And especially for new businesses and even, existing businesses and startups here in the St. Louis community.
Yes. Part of that bootstrapping.
Yes. So Carrolton Bank is funding the Better Family Life Microloan Fund with $50,000 to start off with a nice chunk of change here. Mm-hmm. This is an exciting new venture, and we will be speaking with Eddie Davis, Neelu Panth, and Rasheed Ingrim, the leadership team with the Accerlating, and gain their insights about this new venture. We'll also be speaking with Bianca Jackson, an entrepreneur they're working with and who will tell us a little bit about her business and how the Better Family Life organization and this accelerator has impacted and supported her new venture. So as I always say, stay listening.
Now here's Make It Happen with Keith Sales Pro.
How do highly successful people think? According to author Tom Black, a boxcar millionaire, here are 5 beliefs. Successful people believe that people are as happy as they want to be. Successful people always are persistent, even in the face of disappointment. Successful people believe you must constantly improve your knowledge and skills. Successful people believe big, even when dealing with small-minded people. And finally, successful people believe you must be truly committed to being of service to others. Today, remember, it can happen. It will happen. And together, we will make it happen.
Follow Keith Sales Pro on Facebook or Twitter at Keith Sales Pro, or visit his website at keithsalespro.com.
It can happen. It will happen. And together, we will make it happen.
Hi, I'm Neelu Panth. I'm the entrepreneurship lead and fund development director at Better Family Life. And having an entrepreneurial mindset for me is really thinking outside of the box and reaching out to as many mentors and supporters as possible to relive your dream or to make your dreams come true.
So we're really excited to have you all here. Eddie has actually joined us before. You actually kicked off part of our first season, joining us to talk about where the money comes from, and really gave listeners some insight into your personal background and how you've seen business, and African-American business in particular, grow in the city over many years. Can you tell us again about the Center for the Acceleration of African-American Business and your role and how that works with Better Family Life?
Great. First of all, good morning to you all.
Good morning.
Yes.
The Center for the Acceleration of African American Business was established in 2006 as an organization to provide technical assistance to African American owned companies. Mm-hmm. And we've been around working in various capacities in various locations since then. One of those statistics that I'll tell you, we've touched about 50 companies per year, and over the last 10 years, it's been 500 companies.
Wow.
We've had a success rate of about 80%. 80% of the companies that we work with are still in business today.
That is phenomenal. And is it just in St. Louis, Eddie, or you
work in the St. Louis and surrounding counties.
Okay.
As well as Metro East.
Yeah. Wow, that's a great track record.
Well, I like it because it tells me that we're doing something right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And we have worked at Justine Peterson. In fact, Neelu has been with us since
2009.
And she's done a wonderful job. She's introduced me to the whole aspect of the importance of socialization and social activity along with business. I'm a numbers guy, and all I thought about was business. She brings out the real world. So we've had an opportunity to work together. She left me a while ago.
Oh. But she's back.
Well, I actually followed her.
Oh.
I like that. He chased her.
Yes.
Perfect.
Good thing, Neelu.
It's a Better Family Life, and I think we make a pretty good team. In fact, what we've done at Better Family Life now, we've formed an entrepreneurial team. One member is not here, and that's Carlton Jones. Carlton handles our basic financial literacy program.
Okay.
And he rounds out the team of the four of us. But I've been now there since 2014, working with the TANF and Missouri Workforce Assistance Population. What we do is provide technical assistance, but we also started last year classes, 12-week classes that we put on for the entrepreneurs that provide them everything that they need to know to launch their business.
That's fantastic.
And my role in that essentially is to, as I've worked with Bianca, is to work one-on-one with them as long as they need to establish their business plan, everything from the executive summary to the financial statements.
Fabulous. Well, let's get the other members of your team introduced, and then we can spend a little time talking to Bianca. Neelu, so you have Eddie chasing you, which I think is a beautiful thing. And working together now with Better Family Life, CAB, and all of those resources coming together. So what are you doing as part of this entrepreneur support team?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thank you for this opportunity, and thank you, Mr. Davis, for an awesome introduction. I think, we both chased each other. I think we've just not been able to get out of each other's face. Like minds think alike,
Cheryl keeps trying to get rid of me. It doesn't work.
I think it's the same kind of relationship.
I get it.
It's the same kind of relationship that we share. I think just giving a brief background is
please.
Kind of essential for what Eddie was talking about. I am a graduate of the Brown School of Social Work.
Fantastic.
I graduated in 2008 with a focus on social and economic development and research.
You're a brave woman for saying what year you graduated. I'm never telling anybody that.
Always learning.
Yeah.
And so, after graduation, I had an opportunity to work for Urban Strategies.
Yeah.
So that provided me, that took me actually to different low-income communities around the country, and particularly Camden, New Jersey, which is very similar or worse. In my opinion, it's worse than St. Louis. And there I was developing a human capital plan for the city. And what I realized that community was highly, obviously very low income and immigrants, undocumented immigrants. But we were still working on workforce development, which really didn't make sense because a lot of them, what we call in quotations, are unemployable populations. So that's around the time I kind of met Eddie for a different project that I was, again, working with Urban Strategies on. And I realized how cool is that, working with disadvantaged population to build their entrepreneurial skills so that they can then earn for themselves and for their families.
And it's an economic driver for these communities.
Yes, for these communities,
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And sometimes an economic necessity. We've had guests on from Concordance and Mission STL where really entrepreneurship becomes, in some cases, a necessity.
Right.
And how can we help people do that successfully so that it's not just about putting a few dollars in your pocket every week or every month, but it's actually about building something of value for the long term.
And that was, so my whole social work thing just kicked in. Social and economic development. This is a fantastic tool to develop that among low income. So I actually moved out of Urban Strategies and started working with CAB, and together we were able to put in, different policies, procedures, and program to kind of really meet those goals. And
that was here in St. Louis.
That was here in St. Louis. And at that same time, Better Family Life was just getting this building, rehabbed. And Fifth Third Bank was leading the whole small business development piece for Better Family Life. And that's when we met. And so the whole idea of creating this accelerator at Better Family Life was conceptualized. So
wow, that was some time ago then, huh?
This was, I think, 2011, 2012. So that's when I joined BFL team to really start working on building an entrepreneurial track for Misery Work Assistance Program clients. Because again, they are, considered, to be low income, obviously very unemployable. And so that's when I came in as an entrepreneurship specialist and started building this program. It took me 3 years. And at that time, Eddie and I would continue to talk and brainstorm and, and develop this program. And then I coaxed him to actually come in and set office at BFL because I was meeting with these MWA entrepreneurs. They had excellent ideas, excellent ideas. I was getting ideas of having mobile pet shops to
all across the spectrum.
All across the spectrum. But this population was so used to being discouraged,
And that's what I was going to come back to the term, because unemployable by certain population, it does not mean that you are not employable. You might not have the skills, but having the passion and the idea that, you just need help in starting your business.
The drive and the resilience.
Like anybody else, as we talk to corporate people that are transitioning into entrepreneurship, one of the things that we talk about is these are all smart people, but you need to develop skills to become an entrepreneur. It is not something you just jump up and you have these skills. So having that bridge that you bring, Neelu, to this population, I think is really wonderful.
It is.
So it was igniting that belief in them, So I was actually instilling that entrepreneurial mindset. And so I started having so many different, overwhelming clients come in and say they wanted to start their business and I needed to help them. And so we started very small. And as Eddie came in, his door, it was just a revolving door after that.
I remember going over to have a meeting with Eddie one day, and I was like,
you have to get in the line.
You have to get in line.
Absolutely. And it takes a village.
Yes.
Like, this isn't what one entrepreneur specialist can do or one mentor can do. We've talked about that before. You need your team, and the team needs a team.
Yes.
So, Rasheed, when did you join the team and be part of this activity and movement and enthusiasm?
All right. So first of all, to keep it in uniform, good morning, everybody.
All right. Excellent.
And thanks again for the opportunity. So I started a Better Family Life around with the coincide with the opening of the Business Development Center around October of 2016.
Okay.
Great. Wonderful. And what were you doing before that?
So I was working at, I got about 10 years of financial experience. I worked at Wells Fargo. I worked at Edward Jones, had a number of roles there. So I saw the center was opening. They needed some help with microloans and just different ideas for entrepreneurs. So I kind of just put it out there.
Wow.
And they gave me a call back and we're here.
Wonderful.
To put it out there in the universe. You got to put it out there. That's great.
Well, like my grandma always told me, a job's not going to come knocking on the door looking for you. So,
yes, absolutely. You seized the opportunity.
Absolutely.
And that's a great model for the folks that you work with then. So tell us a little bit, how does that all work? Because we're going to spend some time with Bianca, I promise, Bianca. But we want to lay the groundwork, the foundation for this, just sort of when folks come in, are they meeting with Eddie first or Neelu, or are they getting to you? Or how does this, is it a tag team approach, or is there no wrong door? How does that kind of happen?
It really isn't. There's a lot of ways you can look at it. A lot of times when they come in, they'll come to me first. They'll say, hey, I heard something about this entrepreneur program. Can you give me some information? And what happens really with Better Family Life, kind of one thing ties into another. Yep. So you go through this entrepreneur program, you get through, you work with Mr. Davis and me on getting a business plan, getting everything developed, and you have an opportunity at the end for this microloan program you talked about with Carrolton Bank from $500 to $5,000. So it's kind of like almost like an assembly line, go from one part to the next part.
But there's something at the end, which is really nice, because a lot of entrepreneurs, which we know this, even with Square One, I mean, you can complete a business plan and complete the program, but without funding to help move that venture along, that's a wonderful, I think, piece and partnership that you guys created.
It's essential.
Yes. Yeah.
Within this ecosystem in St. Louis, it had already existed, but the problem is the micro loan did not exist.
Right.
People could go to Justine Peterson and apply for a micro loan and get $5,000 to $30,000.
Right.
But how about those who needed $500?
Right.
Didn't exist for them. And so that partnership with Carrolton Bank and Neelu's efforts made it happen.
So that's the differentiator here.
And the milestone base. So you described it as an assembly line sort of going through the process. But the process is hugely important because it's the way we recognize that the entrepreneur is committed to the effort, is willing to be coached, is willing to try new things, pivot, do all those things we know are necessary, and then really merit-based in terms of the time they've put into their idea and the promise that that idea shows. That microloan, that micro loan can really move the dial on that.
And I think you have much to promote, because with 80%, like you said, with these businesses staying in business, that's a huge opportunity in what you're doing over there.
Well, that changed the lives of individuals, and then potentially as they grow, the ability to hire other folks. So it really, I think, can change an entire dynamic in a community. And that's exciting.
Well, in fact, that's exactly what Better Family Life is intending to do. In the footprint between Kings Highway and Skinker, Martin Luther King Drive, and Page, we're working to change the dynamic of that community and really bring out the economic development that Neelu was working on in Camden.
And I think that's how you change communities. You change it through economic development, change it by either jobs or creating jobs. And you're leaving. I think what's wonderful is you're having the people who live in the community create these opportunities. It's not coming from the outside. They're right there creating
Fantastic. And we're going to take a quick break and then have a conversation with one of those people who's creating those opportunities.
That's right.
What does it mean to you to be alive and well in St. Louis?
From my perspective, what that means is really having the health and well-being to be able to realize your potential and your dreams and to be able to do the things that you would like to do with your life.
And for me, it is both physical health, but it is really emotional health. It's being happy. It's having a network of friends and family that support me. And as Joe says, meeting my goals. But it's a very complex phenomenon, I think, to be alive and well, because well is not just about how your body is working, but it's also how your mind is working and what your days are like, and just being able to enjoy life.
Take some time to care for yourself and thrive. Know that you have some support to manage stress and overcome the difficult things that may have happened or are happening to you. Everybody should be alive and well. Learn more at aliveandwellstl.com.
Hello, this is Rasheed Ingrim. I am the microloan servicer at Better Family Life. To me, being an entrepreneur is a combination of having skills, passion with a dream to push towards something that maybe you can't see or something that's not out there, and just taking the chance to do something different and to just live your dreams.
So Bianca, we've been talking about this accelerator, CAB, Better Family Life. What has it meant for you personally? Tell us about your story. How did you get connected? What are you working on? And what does this really mean in practical terms?
Well, it means so much to me, and I want to thank you all for having me here this morning. It's a pleasure to be here. Good morning to everyone. But yeah, this program has meant so much to me because it's really helped to keep me motivated and inspired, and it really helped get the momentum going, and I really, really feel like it's going to work, you know.
And what is it? Tell us about your business.
The business, right. So
what is
the business? So I had an idea to start a design and manufacturing company.
Awesome.
I came to Better Family Life because I needed help with small things just like child care assistance for my children.
That's a huge thing.
It's huge, but in terms of the business, I couldn't do the business without even child care, something that simple. So I was employed before, but I feel like I was underemployed. I was paid way below what I know I'm worth.
Your potential.
I'm just, working to get out of the rat race. And by that, I wanted to pursue entrepreneurship. And so I came to Better Family Life to see what type of help they had there.
First, how did you find Better Family Life?
Well, I had been in the program, the TANF, the Missouri Work Assistance Program before, so I knew that they had child care assistance available if you work or do community service. And then when I went, I asked, well, could I get daycare assistance for starting a business? And my career specialist was like, yeah, of course. As a matter of fact, we have a business program here. So I was already kind of working on the business before I even heard about them. But when I got into the program, it just helped me do so much more than what I was doing before.
Wow.
So I got that child care assistance that I needed. My children are in school during the week, and I'm able to do things like come to interviews like this or go to the classes at the center there, meet with lenders and accountants and lawyers, which I've utilized those services.
We love our lawyers.
Yes,
they're a very important part of the equation.
Exactly. So the kind of business, you have a fashion business?
Yes. So like what I do, I also do have a job on the side on the weekends. I do manufacturing.
It's like most entrepreneurs.
Yes. Having a business is like an expense in itself. So I do work. I do manufacturing, but most of the jobs that I've come across in the area are like steel and auto and, aerospace. And so I wanted to do something with fashion. That's the whole reason I even got into manufacturing. I thought I may look up and find a textile shop, but I only seen one, and it's like way out in Fenton.
Understanding your competition.
So that gave me the idea to go ahead and start my own manufacturing company because I do so, and I have a few relatives that do, and I've someone.
So you
donated.
put them to work too. They're part.
My mom is my business partner. So her and like my niece, and I'm trying to get my sisters and many people on board as possible because with production I need help. So I just went on and started the textile. Basically, it's designs. I do create my own designs, but...
What type are you talking about? Clothing wear?
So it is women's accessories, not jewelry, and not really clothing either, but clothing accessories like scarves, leg warmers, hats, kind of one-size items that you don't have to try on.
Yeah.
So
we love those.
Yes.
Yeah.
and because it's like May, October now in St. Louis, I was rocking the scarf the other day, so it's practically a year-round thing now.
And I love it because it doesn't have the S, M, or L, or XL.
There's always that.
One size fits all.
Yeah, we love that.
Love it.
So then you can buy it for any of your friends, relatives. You don't have to know their size. And then, it's better for boutique owners. They have less overhead from having to try things on and they get damaged.
Yes.
And, stains on it.
I hadn't even thought of that.
Yeah, I thought of all of this.
I'm really glad. That means you are the expert in your business.
And then as far as online, too, that's another thing. My presence is going to be mostly online because I don't intend to sell directly to the public unless it's online. I want to focus on selling to boutiques and other type of vendors so I can get bulk sales. But it's good that they don't have to try the items on so you feel comfortable buying it online.
Right. So you have your own manufacturing from your own people?
Yes, I have machines. I have fabric at home. I was donated like a few $1,000s worth of fabric from a lady. She's now deceased. I don't remember her name because she gave it to my mother. My mother gave it to me. But we have like tons and tons and tons of fabric.
That's great. So how has Better Family Life helped you with your business?
So what they've done is, besides the production, I had to, get the production going on my own. I've gotten help from things like completing my business plan for Mr. Davis and that's really was the big thing that I needed. I was reading books on how to do it, and I just couldn't quite get is this correct? So when I got to the program, he helped me do the business plan from start to finish, and even,
with your financials included.
Yes, I was just going to say
that's Eddie's specialty.
Yes.
And so it gave me, a vision of what is real and what, the amount of sales I could potentially do if I stick to my production goals. And I was like, wow, this could be really good. And so then I had to also use a lawyer. They hooked us up. Was it legal services? Legal services.
They do great work.
Yep.
Yeah. And so I met with a lawyer that's helping me draft contracts to get business partnerships with boutiques and licensing, because I may outsource or not even outsource, or I may buy some of my product and alter it. So he's helping me with the contracts as far as rights to the materials that I'm using.
So it seems like that Eddie and Better Family Life helped you think broader than just, sewing one piece and selling it. You're looking at opportunities in boutiques. You're looking at maybe licensing your
designs.
Yes. And I think that's what we all want entrepreneurs to think. We want them to think broadly, not just about how can you just sell it right here, but how can it impact you?
It also sounds like partnerships have been a really, so that, you didn't have to go out and figure out what lawyer to go talk to and how to source some of these other things. Can the Better Family Life team talk a little bit about how you've created those partnerships and what role they play for folks like Bianca?
I wanted to jump in on this. When we designed the program, one of the things that I've learned, again, through my travel and through working with low-income individuals and low-income community, is that information gap is one of the biggest hurdles, in developing human capital among this population. And so we deliberately put in that component into this program, where for 12 weeks, for the first week, we have speakers coming in every day from different subject matter experts, legal, financial, accounting.
We have a very generous community in that regard.
Yes, so anybody. And then the Brown School of Social Work is a very natural partner. And so faculty members from there coming and talking about MVPs and, so that's where a lot of that exposure to information is what, Bianca and others have gathered and have learned from it and implemented it. And so we do that, for all 12 weeks. We identify different subject matter experts, from getting women-owned business certifications to any, thing that...
Like marketing, that's a big one. We need business cards, and some people need help with logo designs. And so they have people come in and talk with us about all of those things, even insurance. So there's nothing left to,
I think that's the biggest thing for young business owners, and it doesn't matter which income status you come from, because a lot of times people are like, I want to open this business, but they don't think about the legal ramifications. I need insurance. I need to understand contracts. If I'm going out and doing business with individuals, you don't want to just say, okay, I believe you, you're going to order 100 of these and I'm going to take your word for it. No. So
contracts make good partners.
Exactly.
And we found that St. Louis is a wonderful place to establish these partnerships. One of the things that I heard Christy say this Saturday, one of the things that I know is what I know, but I also know what I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an accountant. I'm not an insurance broker. Why not bring those folks in as I would if I were running a business and have them help us do this? And they have been wonderful.
And I think the important role that organizations like Better Family Life and CET and other entrepreneur support organizations is we help to educate the professional on what it means to work with an entrepreneur, which is so different than working with an established small business or a large corporation. So I'm always really protective of my entrepreneurs. I don't want anybody taking advantage of them in any way. So I can only imagine, putting myself in Bianca's situation, that part of the value isn't just not having to do all the sourcing yourself, but also trusting that these folks understand what it is to work with you and your business at the stage it's at versus some of the other clients they might work with.
So, one of the things that I'll say about that, Christy, one of the things that I tell everyone is all the resources that we have, all the subject matter resources that we have, I have worked with them personally.
Yes.
That's
huge. Doing
business
is a personal relationship.
Yes.
And it is big.
And it's important to have those vetted mentors. And what I mean by that, there are people who pop up in the community and they have great intention to do great work. But if they've never done this before, you're doing more harm in just making sure that these people are adding value to the businesses.
Absolutely.
And I think what Better Family Life does and the Accelerator program and now this fund that you have to support, you're putting the building blocks in places for people to really be successful, right? So,
Bianca, I would imagine that the idea of starting your own manufacturing business would feel kind of overwhelming.
Yes, I've gotten people who was like, oh, well, that's very ambitious.
Right.
I'm like, yeah.
It is very ambitious.
And I plan to do it, so go ahead.
Talk a little bit about woofware.
Okay, so I was going to get into that. So,
please.
So this is one of the things, yes. So Mr. Davis and a lot of business professionals, they say, well, what is your niche in your business? My niche and my marketing concept that I'm going to focus on is a line called Woofwear. So it's within the Diamond Girls Club spectrum. It's like underneath the women's accessories, but like I mentioned, the leg warmers, hats, and even T-shirts. We want to have like Woofwear for the lap dogs. Some women have those little bitty dogs.
Yes.
So Diamond Girl is your company.
Yes, it's called Diamond Girls Club.
Great.
And it's going to have women's accessories, but also matching doggy attire. So if they, like market. High fashion couture, I know women.
And that's a one-size-fit-all, too. I mean, we just need to know whether you're a
Chihuahua, Yorkie.
Exactly. I was thinking all of that. Yes, a Doberman versus, Hey, I think they're underserved. They don't have enough fashion wear.
Dobermans.
You can never have enough fashion if these people love their dogs.
And that's a great market because, like you said, people who have dogs.
I can't dress my dog because that would be.
Oh my God.
She wouldn't be down for that. But
yes. Mine used to walk around with Santa Claus hats on, and it was a boy dog, and everybody in my family was like, the dog was looking sad.
So you'd be able to work with Bianca and take the entire wardrobe up a notch.
Yes.
And match if you wanted to. I'm sure you could match. Yes. That's very cool.
Great.
So another thing they help me out with is, in addition to the services like the legal and accounting and marketing, they bring in, and Eddie always emails us different opportunities like grants to apply for, which are really helpful.
That information gap gets closed. Yep.
Yeah, and then so I have applied for different grants locally, like the Bossa grant, and even Enterprise or some other group that he sent me a grant on application. And then I had gotten sponsored from Monsanto over at Tech Shop because, and it's been great. They have machines that I don't have, so I can go there to do the work.
It's a great resource now that's in our community. And if you're listening, what you should be hearing is that we have, I think in the St. Louis community, great partnerships that, not only Better Family Life can take advantage of, but all these organizations are here to support entrepreneurs. And that's our focus, is how do we grow these businesses? Yeah. I'm so excited, Bianca, about your business and what you're doing. And congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes.
So where are you in the trajectory here? Now, are we just about to launch? Are you?
I plan to launch in October. So I've been doing the groundwork, like getting the business plan and getting my materials, my resources, everything lined up. Been doing a lot of preparation. So I'm gonna launch it. I'm gonna pick a date in October. I want to do a fashion show, and I want to get the website launched. It's been a long journey as far as do I want to just make up a site, but I'm gonna go ahead and get it to where it's like search optimizations in it, and get it hosted and everything, so it'll be officially ready to launch. So I have investors ready to help me with that.
So how, from when you started your concept, because now you're talking about SEO and investors and all of that, it seems like from the time that you started thinking about this business and where you are now, it seems like Better Family Life has had a huge impact on you, from not just thinking about your business and business plan, but, opportunities like we talked about for licensing, how you're going to manufacture, you're talking about your website and how you're going to be optimized. I mean, that's amazing. That's amazing.
They've been, especially Mr. Davis, but the entire incubator or accelerator, excuse me, the entire program has been sort of like an accountability partner to me, like having to meet with Eddie Davis every week and show him my progress on my business plan and meeting with these new people. It keeps me going in the right direction, and it makes me have to work, because if they're working working to help me, I have to work and help myself.
You have your own accountability, right? That's wonderful.
Yeah. What do your kids think?
Oh, they're really excited. My oldest son, he's 5, and then he's like, Mom, what do you do during the week when we go to school? Because he knows I don't work during the week. And
you
I'm like,
working?
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
I said, Mommy has a
playing.
business.
He knows you're having fun.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but hopefully sooner than later, they'll be able to see, the fruits of my labor and know what I'm doing.
I was going to say, I think that's so impactful for kids to know that, because we have in our household very interesting dynamics. My husband has a corporate job, so my son knows what he does, right? And he looks at me and goes, "What do you do?" But I think that seeing that and seeing Mom, build a business, that inspires him to think about entrepreneurship and your own kids and a legacy.
He does. Like, he's 5 and he loves to watch those YouTube clips, and he pretends he has his own channel. He'll get on my phone like, "Welcome to the Drake channel." And he has his own little show going, and so he's very creative in that aspect.
That's right.
Fantastic.
That's right.
Well, thank you all for making time to be with us.
It's too short.
It is. It always goes too fast. But that just means that we can have folks back and more conversation. We've got a launch to look forward to in October, so no doubt. So Rasheed, would you tell us where folks can find out more about Better Family Life, CAB, and the programming that you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So Better Family Life is located at 5415 Page Avenue. You can give me a call directly, 314-367-3440, extension 502. Just ask for Rasheed.
Wonderful. And there's a website?
There is betterfamilylife.org. Yeah, that should get you
betterfamilylife.org.
Yes, ma'am. That should get you right there.
Yes, fantastic.
Do not do .com, .org.
Yes, definitely.
Right. Yes.
And I know you haven't launched yet, but Bianca, if there's somebody who's going to want to follow you, make sure they know exactly when the Diamond Girls Club accessories hit the market, where should they be looking?
Well, I'm kind of social media literate, and I'm trying to change that. So
okay.
I have an Instagram page, but I don't even know what it's called. Maybe you can put Diamond Girls Club in.
Okay.
And you can probably find it there. I'm going to post some pictures. I do have prototypes ready and a few mannequins and a few models, dog models I've snapped. So I'm going to get the pictures up. I do have the page up. I just don't know.
No problem. So that means that you guys should be putting a Google alert for Diamond Girls Club, and that way when it launches, that Google alert will put it right in your inbox and you won't miss a thing.
There you go. There you go.
On that note, we thank you again for joining us, making our morning enjoyable and informative, and sharing your experiences with our listeners.
And thank you, Eddie.
Thanks
you,
again
Neelu.
for having us. We really appreciate it.
You guys are phenomenal in what you do. Thank you, Rasheed, new member, and Bianca. Good luck to you and great success.
Changing the way you view new ventures, igniting your thinking about entrepreneurship. It's entrepreneurially thinking. Get connected and discover more. Visit our website for show notes, resources, information about our guests, upcoming events, and of course, all your favorite episodes. If you have any questions, be sure to leave them for us in the comment sections, and be sure to leave us a 5-star rating on iTunes. The best way to show love is to share. Let everybody know that you're thinking entrepreneurially. So visit our website, entrepreneuriallythinking.com. #eThinkSTL. Entrepreneurially Thinking is another positive production of Rare Gem Productions. Thanks for listening.